Thank you for that. And our audience is made up of all of the current students here at the Joe Blasco Makeup Center in Hollywood, California. I want to thank all of you for being here this morning. Don't forget that you're here to learn. And so during this interview, I want you to formulate your questions. And because you're here and not out there, unfortunately for you guys out there, you will be able to actually ask questions of Fred. And in the future, once we get our thing really evolving here, you out there in Webland are also going to be able to interact with us live. All right, but for right now, let's get back to Fred. All right, now you started that the tattoo work that you did on the Illustrated Man was a tremendous influence on you, obviously, because it's led into the creation of this business that now is very successful.
It actually goes back to my apprenticeship, because Gordon Blau, he was the head of the makeup department at the time, and George Blau was his brother who ran the prosthetics.
Yes.
And Gordon always had me up in the lab testing his different makeup and his cosmetics, and I used to go home in living color. I looked like the NBC peacock sometimes, you know. But I was the apprentice, so I was the go-to guy that, I would try it on him, anyhow. So it came to the point where I was starting to formulate his formulas and making his cosmetics, which we called Warner Color. And these were literally made out of peanut oil, and this is when grease paint was really grease paint and oil paint. And we would make these different cosmetics. They had a special one for My Fair Lady. When I started my apprenticeship, the first thing I'm involved in is taking care of the makeup artist in the bullpen, which is a huge stage that they had all the makeup artists and hairstylists. And I would be bringing them makeup and supplies from the makeup department and everything, and that was really quite a treat. And to see something of that magnitude being done right in front of my eyes, it was just amazing. So they had a special makeup for My Fair Lady where they added pearlescence to the base, which gave you that nice glow on the face. And if you look at it sometime, it's a beautiful, beautiful look, and it was really great. And then as I say, that was my very first experience as an apprentice. And then I started making makeup with the boss. And then he had me make some blood one day, and it was mixing. As I remember, it was a carbapol. Okay, carbapol, which is an alkaline. And I said, Gordon, this is not gelling the way it should be. And he says, well, go down to the commissary and get a can of tomato paste and put that in there, and that'll work out just fine. I said, oh, okay, I didn't know what I was doing,
Does anybody know what's about to happen here?
Well, the tomato paste is an acid, and so I'm up there and I've got the mixer going, and I've got about a 10-gallon pot, and I've got it about half full, and nothing's happening. And so he says, just pour the tomato paste in. And he's down in his office, and I got my brand new sneakers on, and I'm making like $75 a week. I'm paying $125 a month on rent, and my wife and I were just biting our fingernails hoping to get by. And so I get this can of tomato paste, and I start pouring it in, and the mixer's going and it's stirring, and all of a sudden it starts to grow and starts to gel. Yeah, that's pretty cool, So I put a little more in there, and it started to grow, and I said, whoa, now wait a minute, whoa, and it's not stopping. It's just keeping on growing and growing, and next thing I know, this stuff is growing over the top. I got blood and stuff all over me, totally destroyed my brand new shoes that I just bought the day before. And I came downstairs and I says, you and your tomato paste, boss.
Well, he thought it looks like blood. Maybe if we add it, it's going to work.
It was horrible. But anyhow, that was one of the things. So then that also came into real creations. Yes. And then in Fandango, I read about this formula for blood, which was a Caro syrup and food color. And then one of the makeup artists, I saw him make up a batch, and he started using it. I says, you know, that is really good-looking blood. It needs a little more opacity, though, because you could see through it. It looked, you know, it was too clear.
Syrup.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't like the way it beat it up like glycerin, you know, and my brain's going a mile a minute now, you know, and so I said, well, I'm going to try to make some, and then I talked to George, my other
George Blau.
George Blau, who was my other boss, and I
they
said,
were
what
brothers.
Do you think?
They were brothers. George Blau and Gordon Blau.
Yeah, they were both brothers, and they were great. And he said, well, why don't you try putting a little detergent in there?
Right.
And I said, like what, Joy? Or she says, yeah, that'd be perfect. So I put a little detergent in there, and what we're doing is we're relaxing the surface tension. It's the same thing with glycerin. If you know how, notice how glycerin, it beads up on the skin. The same thing with Caro syrup. It beads up, and you put a little bit of detergent in there, and it just makes it run the way it's supposed to.
Right.
I'm giving my formulas away now. No, that was,
we used to use tincture of green soap.
Oh yeah,
Because I worked with Ben Nye
Sure.
Senior, and he used to say, put green soap in.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Well, anyhow, I got a call one day to do some blood, and they needed like a quart of it. So I went downtown and I bought a bunch of Caro syrup and the thing, and I think I had an investment of about $35 or $36, and I'm just saying, how am I going to get rid of all this?
That was a lot.
Money? That was a lot of money then. You bet. So on the show, I think I made $25, so I'm sitting there, and I said, well, okay, that's $11 I still got to make up now, Well, I swear to goodness, within the next 6 months, I was ordering this stuff by the pallet.
Everybody wanted it.
That was it. It was really...
That was the big... You got bitten by the sales bug.
Yeah.
You became a manufacturer sales...
and remember the old Sperling Beauty Supply?
Oh, sure.
Jack Sperling. He started pushing my blood, and he called it 7-Eleven blood.
Is that was yours?
Yeah, that was mine. That was the first.
That was the first?
Yeah.
Wow,
it goes back a couple of years.
Way back, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I remember Jack. Jack was in... originally, he was in North Hollywood. Wasn't he with Friends Beauty Supply at first?
He was there, and then he went off on his own and made his own shop.
That seems to be the way of things.
Then he got very involved in nails. Nails was a really big thing at that time.
Right. He's still around, right? He's still...
I have not seen him. I'm sure he is.
I think he's somewhere out like in the valley in Chatsworth.
I don't think he has a business anymore. I don't know what he does.
Yeah?
I mean, he doesn't have Sperling.
Yeah, we're talking about old timers in the business, the pioneers, the people that actually started, the professional.
Well, like Mamie used to work for Friends.
Mamie's,
and then he opened up, and then I mean, it's just.
And Nigel's worked for Friends.
And Nigel worked for Friends. Then
seems like Friends is kind of like the sprouting.
Friends is like the home base.
That's right. That's the garden.
Everything
grows from Friends.
Yeah, that's really amazing. But it was. And then now I punch out a couple thousand gallons a year.
Yeah. That's a lot.
I have a special manufacturer that makes it for me because what you're involved with, everything in our company obviously is cosmetic, and because of the possibility of contamination with a sugar product, and basically if you understand anything about bacteria and everything, water is your main carrier of bacteria. And it's just like when you have jelly, when you open up a jar of jelly or anything, you have to put it in the refrigerator to keep it cold. Even though it has preservatives in it, it'll hold down keeping it cool will hold down the bacteria. So the nice thing about having it done in a big, huge tank like this, we'll do like 300 gallons at a time. And it is pasteurized because of the heat to kill everything, and then we have a preservative puts in, and then every batch of blood that we have, I take samples, just random samples, any place that I can, and I send them off to a lab to have them tested to make sure that there's no bacteria and there's no contamination in a batch. Well, if there's any contamination in a 300-gallon batch, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because that's a big waste, and it has to go down the drain. Then with that amount, you have to have special. But it's never happened. Everything that we've ever done, it's always been pure and clean. And I have a I have a certificate of every batch of blood I've
Yes,
ever made,
yes.
you know.
People don't realize how much work goes into
Yeah.
manufacturing cosmetics.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, all of the precautions that have to be taken, and the insurance policies that have to be had.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh,
gosh.
God.
And it's just like
And people wonder, oh, my
everybody's
God.
got a hook in you.
Yeah, right,
I mean,
right.
there's
Oh.
the hooks come from, when you get into business. You cannot believe how many hooks come out of the woodwork.
It's like finding good people
Oh.
isn't bad enough.
That's a rough
Then they
one.
hit you around the backside of the neck with insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! So yeah, let's show some of your products, and we'll talk about
Okay.
specific products. All right,
Sure.
but we're going to do that right after this word. Okay, don't go away.